Welcome back to Daybreak. Vincent Mediate is here now with national news. Let's send it over to him over at the news desk.
Thanks, James. Tuesday marked the 12th anniversary of the day our nation stood still. We are reminded of all those whose lives were taken as America was attacked by al-Qaeda terrorists. Memorial services, moments of silence, and vigil candlelight services were held at the attack sites, schools, colleges, and other federal buildings. Now, what is your best security code? Your finger. The new iPhone 5S now has fingerprint technology. What this means is that you are able to use your finger as your password instead of typing in a password or punching in a security code. Dan Riccio, a senior VP for the hardware design at Apple, says that your fingerprint is the best security code because no one else will be able to hack it. What is even more interesting about the 5S is that you can program it up to 5 other fingerprints so that in the case you do share your phone with someone else, they will be able to access it as well. Jordan Lynn Graham from Montana is accused of pushing her husband off a cliff. This happened on the night of July 7th, but the court hearing for Graham was Monday. Graham's friend said that she was having second thoughts of her marriage. Graham testified in court on Monday, saying her and her husband went on a hike. They got into an argument, and when she wasn't looking, she pushed him off the cliff, killing him instantly. If convicted, she faces life in prison. Jordan Graham and her husband had only been married a week. She is being charged now with second-degree murder. And finally, the latest update from the President of the United States says that we are keeping the pressure on in regards to Syria. President Obama told the nation Tuesday that he is encouraging the Russian government to become a part of this fight against the Assad regime in Syria. Obama said Tuesday the Russian government has made him aware they will join, along with the international community, to try and push Assad to give up his chemical weapons. Obama went on to tell the nation that the Assad regime admitted that it indeed does have these weapons. And that's all for national news this week. Now back to the couch.
Thanks, Vinny. And in this day and age, we are all so concerned with our eating habits. But how about our furry friends?
A local woman took on the challenge to change her pet's diet. Chris Hoffman has the story.
Usually, dog food is just another item on the grocery shopping list. But one local woman has found a way to rejuvenate how to feed man's best friend. Heidelberg resident Bernadette Kazar started making organic dog food after her dog became ill.
When I got Ruby, she was always licking her paws and licking my kitchen floor. And I thought she did that out of boredom because she was blind. And when I started feeding her on homemade food, she didn't do it anymore.
Kazar uses fresh items, including produce right from her garden when making the food, based on recipes from veterinarian Dr. Kathy Alanovi's book, Dinner Possible.
Just like what we're cooking for ourselves. I used canned salmon, ground turkey, all the recipes in there, fresh broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. She would say put some cod liver oil in it, some sunflower seeds, mix it up, put it in a bread pan, and bake it. And when it's cool, I'll cut it in half or 4, wrap it and freeze it.
Dr. Alanovi wrote the book after seeing results in her own dogs.
I started out with my own dog, Lady. I went to a seminar to learn about allergies because she's had food allergies for all of her life. So from that point, I started feeding a commercial raw diet to my dogs.
The transition to the new diet is relatively quick. Kazar said her dogs took only a few days to adjust to it. After seeing the results, Kazar has been spreading the message along to others.
They were a little skeptical about it, and I said, just give it a try. And it only took about a couple weeks, and they've been noticing a difference too.
With many dogs showing signs of improvement, Kazar tells people to look at dog food differently.
I want people to know that we need to think outside of that bag of dog food. It's been so convenient, and what it's doing to our dog is unbelievable.
Future plans for Kazar include opening a small business to sell her organic dog food to others. Reporting for Point Park Television, I'm Chris Hoffman.
And Chris Hoffman is in the studio now.
Now, Chris, a lot of times you hear vets say that they're not really supposed to give, your dog's people food and table scraps. So, what's made the change and made this happen?
Usually that is what we're all told. We actually had a chance to talk with a veterinarian based out of the state of Indiana, and she even said, what's the first thing you're always told with your pets? Never feed them human food. But then she came back at us and said, Well, what did they eat before there was dog food or cat food out of the bag? They ate exactly what we did. And it actually is a lot more beneficial to the dogs and cats, depending on however you are on the pet world. But it's a lot healthier for them because it has all the natural nutrients. It's not processed. It's the equivalent to us. We're told eat fresh foods out of your garden, eat fresh meats, don't eat processed foods. It goes the same for the pets as well.
That's amazing that the pets eat vegetables. I thought they'd go more for meat, but I wonder what she does at the end of the season when her garden's gone. What does she do?
Well, she actually does a good job of stockpiling ahead of that. She'll make several months worth and keep it in a freezer because it's basically just like human food. If you store it properly, it can last a long time. And that's what she'll do is she'll make a whole bunch at once, take a day or so, just make a whole bunch, and it'll last for months at a time. And even enough that she's even starting to think about owning a small business too, because she's really trying to spread the message out there.
Yeah, I saw that she had a couple dogs. Did she pass that diet through all of them, or was it just stuck to the dog Ruby?
No, she has actually used it on all of them because she's someone that basically kids to her are all her dogs. She treats them as family, and she does a good job of adopting. All her dogs are adopted dogs from rescue shelters such as Animal Friends, and she basically has taken a lot of dogs that other people would not have wanted to, dogs that are either overweight or maybe are blind and deaf, and she's done a good job of getting them down to a normal sized weight, a more normal size, instead of, because a lot of them she comes in and they're overweight.
Well, thanks for joining us today, Chris. Coming up next on Daybreak, Denise Tristan will be here with your weekly weather report.
And Brittany Lafferter is here with sports. Don't go away. We'll be right back.